Good evening. May God's blessings be upon you and your loved ones as we celebrate the Eucharist today. My house shall be a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves. Several years ago, a group of charismatics asked me to say Mass every first Friday in their office. Now that office, the head was, the ombudsman filed a case against him because a lot of funds were lost. And the others also had cases against them. It was a den of thieves, corrupt government officials. But this group, this charismatic community, turned it into a house of prayer. And that's our job. Even this world has become a den of thieves. Let's turn it into a house of prayer. There's also St. Paul Church there in Timok, St. Paul Parish. It was a disco house before. You know how disco houses were, drugs and alcohol, maybe free sex even. Now, it is a parish church. Just like the basilicas in Rome, the Christians built them over temples where idols were worshipped, sometimes with human sacrifices. So the Basilica of St. Peter and the Basilica of St. Paul built over houses of sin. My message to you today is from the first reading, chapter 10, book of Revelations. You must prophesy again to many peoples, nations, tongues, and kings. To the whole world, you must prophesy. And you can only do that if you have houses of prayer where many people give you strength. So let us make our churches the house of the Father, houses of prayer, especially our own home, to become a house of prayer. Family that prays together, stays together. And that's why many families now are having problems. They don't talk to each other anymore. They're also busy with other things. Let us build our homes into homes of prayer so that we can prophesy. We can turn dens of thieves into houses of prayer, just like charismatic groups. Doon na sila nag-Eucharist, doon sila nag-prayer meeting, doon na sila nag-life in the Spirit seminar, maski na may mga magnanakaw pa dyan. In the end, God's grace will triumph. And as Pope Francis has said, the whole world has become a den of thieves. Ninanakaw natin ang kinabukasan ng mga bata. Kagaya noong very pretty little princesses there. We have to assure them of a better future. Ninanakaw natin by destroying the environment, by an economic system that makes rich only very few people. By a world of conflict. Gusto natin ng gira kasi may pera. You know how much spent by the world, especially the United States, $1.3 trillion for bombs and ammunition and aircraft carriers and destroyers. $1.3 trillion. You know how much you give me to educate all the children in this world? You give me $20 billion, I will educate all the children in this world. That's what the United Nations says. 20 billion. All the children will be given free education all over the world. In the Philippines, we have 10 million dropouts who have not finished high school. So 20 billion, very small, just a drop in the bucket compared to $1.3 trillion spent for bombs, especially nuclear bombs. Yumayaman ang ilang tao paggawa ng bala na pampasabog sa bungo ng kapwa nila tao. Hindi naman nila nakikita dahil titinda nila sa mga terrorist. Yung terrorist ngayon ang magpapasabog ng mga eroplano at mga restaurant at saka mga kindergarten. We have turned this world into a den of thieves. Our mission is to turn it into a house of prayer because this is our common home. This belongs to our Father in heaven. In St. Matthew, it says, you have turned my Father's house into a den of thieves. The world belongs to God. He created it. So, as a disciples of Christ, we have to work for justice, to give opportunities. Even to children that are not yet born, generations yet unborn, mahalin na natin sila. Ayusin na natin itong ating daigdig ngayon. Otherwise, hahagupitin din tayo ng Panginoon. You have turned my house shall be a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves. So let us prophesy, as the book of Revelation says. Let us tell the world what the will of God is. And let us pray, especially, that we will not be one of the thieves. But because of our indifference, saan-saan tayo nagtatapon ng basura, ninanakaw natin ang kinabukasan ng mga bata, pati yung hindi pa isinila. So as we celebrate the Eucharist today, let us remember again that this universe was created by God. This world, very beautiful world, was created by God, and we have been made stewards. Pangasiwaan ninyo yan, ayusin ninyo. Pahiram ko sa inyo yan, sabi ng Panginoon, para you will hand it on to next generation. What kind of world shall we give to our kids according to Pope Francis? Kung puputulin na natin lahat ng puno, kung lalasunin na natin yung atmosphere. The other night, Father Paul Ramat, SVD, delegate to COP27. They are talking about climate change. And Father Paul mentioned that in the Philippines, we dream of 1 billion bamboo planted so that we can fight climate change, we can prevent erosion and flooding, and we can give livelihood to people when we process the bamboo poles. Pero, yung COP27 has been evaluated, puro salita lang. Wala na naman yung magbayad ang mga polluters like China. China is responsible for 30% of the pollution. Yung tayo, 0.39% of the total pollution all over the world. Ang Philippines, 0.39. Tayo ang tinatamaan ni Paeng, tayo ang tinatamaan ni Ondoy, tayo ang tinatamaan ni Ulysses. Ang gusto sana ng United Nations, magbabayad ang China, parang reparation, for destroying the environment, for polluting the air, tapos babayad sa atin, tatanim natin yung kawaya. Paaralin natin yung mga bata. Gagawa tayo ng resilient communities para pagdating uli, dahil lalakas pa yung mga bagyo. We have turned the planet into a den of thieves. Let us turn it now with the right spirituality into a house of prayer. Send forth your spirit, and they shall be created, and you shall renew the face of the earth.